There is a U.S. Navy ship the size of a small aircraft carrier that was built on the hull of a commercial oil tanker. The design it was based on could ballast itself partly underwater to launch other vessels. The U.S. Navy removed that feature. Its hangar was designed around a heavy-lift helicopter. The U.S. Navy began retiring in 2025. It is operated by civilians most of the time, and by Navy sailors when the mission requires it. The same ship has two different names depending on who is in command: USNS one day and USS the next. The vessel is called an Expeditionary Sea Base. The class is officially the Lewis B. Puller class. The lead ship, USS Lewis B. Puller, was commissioned in August of 2017 in Bahrain. She is 233 meters long. She displaces approximately 90,000 long tons fully loaded. She cost roughly $650 million to build. What do you think is the strangest engineering choice on a modern U.S. Navy warship? Drop your answer in the comments below. Your answer is probably already on this list. The Expeditionary Sea Base exists for one purpose: to be a floating forward base for U.S. military operations in international waters, far from any American territory. 4 ships are currently in active service. 2 more are under construction at General Dynamics NASCO in San Diego, California. The most recent ship in the class, USS John L. Canley, was commissioned in February of 2024. This script is not about what these ships do, it is about how they are built. The engineering of the Lewis B. Puller class is unlike any other major U.S. Navy warship in service today. The hull is not a Navy design. The construction process is not a Navy process. The crew is not a Navy crew most of the time. The aircraft the ship was built around is being phased out. The Expeditionary Sea Base hangar was built around a helicopter the U.S. Navy is retiring. The Expeditionary Sea Base has 1250 caliber machine gun stations and nothing else. The Expeditionary Sea Base has almost no armor at all. Most assume warships are bristling with weapons or heavily armored or built in Navy yards around current aircraft. Those assumptions do not apply here. 4 engineering choices on this ship would not pass review on any other major U.S. Navy warship. The reasons each one was approved are stranger than the choices themselves. The first strange engineering choice is in the hull itself. The Lewis B. Puller class is not a clean sheet Navy warship design. The hull form is based on the Alaska-class crude oil tanker, originally built by NASCO in San Diego during the early 2000s for transporting crude oil from the North Slope of Alaska to West Coast refineries. 4 Alaska-class tankers were built for commercial service: the Alaskan Frontier, the Alaskan Explorer, the Alaskan Navigator, and the Alaskan Legend. Each had a deadweight tonnage of approximately 185,000 tons. Each was double-hulled, as mandated by the Oil Pollution Act of 1990. The tankers were ordered by BP for the Trans-Alaska Pipeline System. When the Navy needed a new platform for forward expeditionary operations, NASCO took the same Alaska-class hull form, modified the internal structure, and adapted it for military use. Above the modified hull, NASCO built what one U.S. Naval Institute Proceedings author later described as a parking garage of mission deck space, topped by a 50,000 square foot flight deck. The advantages were practical. A Ford-class supercarrier costs approximately $13.3 billion to build. A Lewis B. Puller-class ESB costs approximately $650 million. The Navy gets a ship comparable in displacement to a small aircraft carrier for roughly 1/20th the price. The trade-off is that the ESB is not built to fight. It carries minimal defensive armament. It has almost no armor. If a Lewis B. Puller-class ship comes under serious attack, it depends on escort vessels for protection. The ship is built to be useful in low-intensity environments, not to survive a high-intensity fight. The second strange engineering choice is in the design lineage itself. The Lewis B. Puller class is a direct derivative of the Mobile Landing Platform, known officially today as the Expeditionary Transfer Dock, or ESD. Two ESD vessels are currently in service, USS Montford Point and USS John Glenn. Both entered service in the early to mid-2010s, and both can do something genuinely unusual for a U.S. Navy ship. They can semi-submerge. The Mobile Landing Platform was engineered to ballast itself partly underwater. By taking on controlled amounts of seawater into specific ballast tanks, the ESD lowers its stern by several meters. The exposed working deck sinks below the waterline. This allows the ship to launch and recover landing craft directly off its own deck, transfer cargo between large vessels and smaller landing craft, and serve as a sea-based platform in open water, far from any port. The technique was borrowed from the offshore oil industry. The Navy adapted it for the Mobile Landing Platform program in the late 2000s. Before we look at the third strange engineering choice, take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit subscribe right now and let us keep going. When NASSCO and the Navy designed the Lewis B. Puller class as the next evolution of the platform, they kept the tanker hull and the modular internal arrangement. They removed the semi-submersible feature entirely. In its place, they installed a permanent 4-spot flight deck and a fixed hangar. The reasoning was operational. The Expeditionary Sea Base needed to be a stable aviation platform 24 hours a day. So the Navy bought the cheap hull, kept the proven design lineage, and engineered out the single most distinctive feature of the original platform. The result is a 90,000-ton warship based on a semi-submersible design that cannot semi-submerge. The third strange engineering choice is in the aviation facilities. The Lewis B. Puller class hangar and flight deck were designed around a specific aircraft, the Sikorsky MH-53E Sea Dragon. The Sea Dragon is the largest helicopter currently in service with any U.S. military service. It is approximately 30 meters long when the main rotor is turning. It weighs roughly 33 tons. It first entered fleet service in 1986. It is the Navy's dedicated airborne mine countermeasures platform. The Lewis B. Puller class flight deck has 4 landing spots designed to accommodate up to 4 MH-53E Sea Dragons simultaneously, or up to 6 MH-60 Seahawks. Airborne mine countermeasures is a core ESB mission. The Sea Dragon is the helicopter that performs it. Then the Navy began retiring the MH-53E Sea Dragon. The fleet was scheduled to begin phasing out in 2025, with full retirement expected by 2027. A formal sundown ceremony was planned for March of 2025. As of late 2024, only 28 MH-53E helicopters remained in active service, distributed across 2 squadrons, HM-12 and HM-15. Did you know a 90,000-ton warship was designed around an airframe that is now being retired faster than the second half of the ship class can be delivered? Yes or no? Tell us in the comments below. The Navy is transitioning airborne mine countermeasures to a mix of unmanned surface and underwater systems. None of these replacement systems is fully fielded. The ESB hangar remains useful for other aircraft. H-60 Seahawks, V-22 Ospreys, and unmanned platforms can all operate from the deck. But the specific capability that the ship was engineered around is being phased out of the Navy before the full ESB fleet has even been delivered. Construction of the Lewis B. Puller class began in 2013. The retirement of the helicopter it was built for began in 2025. The two timelines did not align. The fourth strange engineering choice has no analog anywhere else in the modern U.S. Navy. The Lewis B. Puller class is engineered to operate under two completely different command structures. Depending on the mission, and the engineering of the ship itself is built around that dual arrangement. When operating in routine support or non-combat roles, the ship is designated USNS, United States Naval Ship. The civilian master of the vessel holds command. The civilian crew runs navigation, propulsion, engineering, and most shipboard functions. The ship operates under merchant marine rules. When the Navy designates the ship for combat operations or sensitive missions, the prefix changes from USNS to USS, United States Ship. A Navy commanding officer assumes operational command. The civilian master either steps aside or continues to handle navigation and propulsion, while the Navy commander takes operational authority over the mission. USS Lewis B. Puller was the first Expeditionary Sea Base to receive this dual designation. She was commissioned as USS Lewis B. Puller on August 17, 2017 in Bahrain. Since then, she has operated in both modes depending on the operational tempo of U.S. Fifth Fleet. This is not a temporary arrangement. The dual command structure is built into how the ship was engineered. There are spaces aboard the vessel designed for Navy command and control. There are berthing areas for embarked Navy personnel separate from the civilian mariner quarters. There are communication systems configured for both military sealift command operations and combat zone command authority. The ship is engineered around the assumption that it will switch modes during its operational life. No other major U.S. Navy warship is built this way. Aircraft carriers, destroyers, submarines, and amphibious assault ships all have a single commanding officer and a single chain of command. The Lewis B. Puller class has two by design written into the steel of the ship itself. And it works. The Lewis B. Puller has been forward deployed continuously to the Persian Gulf since 2017, switching between USNS and USS modes depending on what Fifth Fleet needs her to do. The other three ESBS in service follow the same model. Two more under construction at NASCO are being built the same way. No other Navy in the world operates anything quite like this. A hull based on a commercial oil tanker. A design lineage that includes semi-submersible capability the Navy deliberately removed. A hangar built around a helicopter that is now being retired. And a command structure that switches between civilian and military, with the ship itself engineered around the switch. Four strange engineering choices, every one of them deliberate. The Lewis B. Puller class is one of the most operationally important and least conventional warships in the modern United States Navy. None of these features would pass review on a destroyer, a carrier, or a submarine. On a Lewis B. Puller class Expeditionary Sea Base, every one of them was approved by design. Which of these strange engineering choices surprises you the most? Tell us in the comments below. The civilian mariners who operate these ships, the Navy crews who take command when the mission requires it, and the engineers at NASCO who designed a warship around the assumption that it would switch identities mid-deployment, all of them are part of the institutional decision to build a United States Navy vessel that does not look or operate like anything else in the fleet. The first Expeditionary Sea Base was commissioned in 2017, the most recent in 2024. Two more are under construction at NASCO in San Diego right now. They will continue to do what they do, quietly, far from home for as long as the Navy needs them. If this video gave you a new appreciation for what goes into one of the strangest engineering programs in modern United States Navy history, hit the like button right now and subscribe to the channel so you never miss what we cover next. We will see you in the next one.